It is veritable rocket fuel, this coffee.
It's good.
You're loud.
You're allowed.
And we're rolling. We have 4 subscribers now. And
That's it?
7 likes on Facebook.
Jesus, that's sort of sad.
It's
considering that I've shared it.
Yeah, and you have like 6,000 followers.
And I think I shared it on my personal page too.
Yeah. I'm gonna share the next episode, and we'll see. I don't want to go inviting people and stuff. I reluctantly did that for my photography page, and I was like, I hate doing that. Because I don't even look at those invites myself, and all that birthdays and everything. I don't have the time to wish everyone a happy birthday. So we have
but hey,
maybe
we have some listeners.
We have listeners.
Actually, I know that
plural.
A bunch of my I guess photo friends, aka the media cartel, listened to it and gave me some tips and pointers and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah,
that
cool.
We will talk about now. And
I don't remember any of them, so it's okay.
I already forgot. I wasn't even listening. So I'm Chris.
I'm Jeremy.
And welcome to Shutter Count, episode 4.
Catherine.
Quattro.
That was just weird.
Yep. So, we both had busy weekends. I think we'll start with your...
Well, you might as well go. Mine lasts 4 days. So
4 days, so... I had a wedding on Saturday, my first one of, my only one in July, I should say. And it was 15 hours.
Wow. Where was it? You said it was like sort of close-ish though, eh?
It was everywhere.
Oh.
It was everywhere. Great couple, sweet couple.
You're the best.
But we traveled a lot. So prep was in the South Shore. And then... Yeah, well, at least it was early in the morning, being a 15-hour day. So we had prep in the South Shore, and then church in Montreal in Outremont. And then we had tea ceremony in Laval. And then we went back to Outremont for portraits. Mainly because they didn't have much time. We had to get to the tea ceremony very fast, and it was perfect because I wouldn't have wanted. We finished the ceremony at like noon, 12:30, which is obviously amazing time for photos. So so I'm glad we didn't have to do photos then because it would have just been like really tough. We did some formals outside the church, which was great because it was cloudy. So.
Yeah, sometimes Mother Nature helps you out.
Yeah, it was perfect for that. So that allowed us to do portraits at like 4:30. And we went back to the corner of Saint-Laurent and Laurier. And there's like a park and a church and some architecture and some graffiti murals. And there's kind of like everything in that one area. And it was perfect. So we had a really good shoot there. And then the reception, I should say, was at a restaurant in Brossard. So we headed back to the South Shore to finish off the day.
I'm guessing they're from the South Shore.
It's a good question. I don't know because we got she got ready at her sister's house, I'm not sure where they live, to be honest with you. But so it was a lot of running around, a lot of driving. They were troopers. I mean, the thing about the 15 hours too is that they have a tradition in their family, and I know a lot of like Asian cultures have like traditions of taking pictures with all the guests, and I'd actually never had to do it to that extent, where we literally took pictures
of every single
couple / family. that was there, and it was literally just like line them up and let's do it. So
got them down.
Yeah. So and they were like super cool about it. Like, look, and we know it's not really like your what you guys do, but it's kind of a tradition. I'm like, no problem. I'm like, let's do this. Are you guys ready?
Because it's easy. It's just that it's time consuming. So
yeah, it's a lot of time, and but they had it. The dinner, I should say, service started. Ended up starting pretty late because of that. But if that's, and I imagine it's for them to send. They probably send a picture with a thank you card.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So you just gotta kind of go for it, and I had to bounce off the ceiling like I normally do, and it was. I wanted, you obviously want a longer lens when you're doing formal, so you don't get too much distortion and everything like that. So
nice. 400 2.8.
Yeah. I used the 24-120 actually.
Yeah, that's good.
Because and I was anywhere between 50 and like 50 and 85, depending on how many people. But I was pretty far away at some points, and the bounce, like it was a nice white ceiling, but the bounce was still pretty tough, and it was killing my batteries. Like I went through probably like 4 sets of N loops, because it was really just
like full power.
Yeah, like really full power.
Crazy.
And they weren't all like I took like 3. I'd take 3 full body and then 3 a little closer in, and like 2 out of the 3. Like I'd still have one that's a bit dark, that can be pushed, but at least I have one that's.
Is it just because they're not recycling fast enough?
What it was at first was I was still on spot metering. So it was getting confused because it was on a white background.
Yeah,
right?
So it was basically maybe picking that up.
It was probably picking up the white every now and then and being like, whoa, okay, I'm super dark now.
Yeah.
Or it was picking up their tone and like blowing it out almost. So I just took a lot just to kind of cover the bases. And when you're doing
blinking and stuff.
Yeah, blinking. And when you're doing that many, like, you want to be quick as well, so.
Because your flash is the 910, right?
The 910, yeah.
It doesn't have the extra battery for quicker recycle time, or maybe it doesn't need it, but
no, it doesn't. It had the 800 had a separate, protruded out the side.
Yeah, because it means it's sort of cool because you can not use it if you don't need to, and then if you do, well, then it works out well.
Yeah. No, it's the 910, and they had the 900 had the overheating issue.
Yeah, which you had, right? And then
but it
do you still have that?
Though
900?
I don't have any 900s. Okay. No, I have 2 910s.
No, but didn't you have a 900?
No, never. I have a 600, SB 600, which I don't use anymore. I actually delegated it to off camera with the radio popper.
Yeah.
But then I got the SU 800, the line of sight Nikon stock trigger.
Yeah, I've used that.
Yeah, and it works probably better, and the thing is that the 600 isn't very powerful.
Yeah.
So I'd be trying to do like off camera stuff outside. And
it just can't overpower the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I switched because I wanted more power. So and I had bought that just for having it inside like studio headshots.
Well, it's also a good little flash to keep. I mean, you never know. So
yeah.
I still have my original SB22S that I had when I was in school, and it's like, I haven't used it in probably 10 years, but you know, you never know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always good to have many flashes. But the SU 900 works like really well if you're line of sight.
That's the thing. I've used it, and the reason why I didn't like it is because I always had issues with line of sight.
Yeah. The radio.
But if you're doing like, I guess more of a studio setup where stuff's not going to move, it's cool. But if
something
you're
consistent, it works fine, and it even works through the umbrellas. Like, it's not a problem.
Well, it's infrared, right? So
yeah, exactly. So after that, it kind of it was pretty good wedding. Nice. Long day though, 15 hours.
Yeah,
that's the longest.
Well,
this year.
And that's where you're like, having good shoes and having that your camera strap that.
I was dead. I was dead though. Like at even at like 10, I was starting to feel it because I'm out of shape. I gotta get back in
fatty.
Shape. Yeah. But it was it was good wedding though. Good shoot. Portraits were good. we went to a little bar restaurant. Like they had some of the restaurants where the front opens up, like the window opens up onto the sidewalk. It's not a terrace, but it's
like a garage door type of thing.
Exactly. So stuck them in there, and it's all back, super dark in the back inside the restaurant. So they really pop against the. But there's like a beautiful light pole, like a street lamp pole right in the middle. I was like, it would have been such a nice shot from like across the street with like the entire building, but the pole was like right in there. But it was like
content aware, bro.
I'm really I'm crazy for like symmetry and centering thing. So they were like perfectly centered within that big window, and the pole was perfectly centered as well. So it would have been right in front of their face. So there wouldn't have even been an easy way to Photoshop it out unless I were to like move them to the side and then clone them into that part, which was awesome. Like no. So I just took it a little closer up and from a few angles. And
that's cool.
Yeah, so
you finished at what time?
I finished at 12:30.
That's long.
And then I had to stop by at her studio to upload the files. Well, I didn't have to, but I'm paranoid with files. Like I feel like I'm carrying like a ticking time bomb.
You basically are.
Yeah, so I like to, and I figure I'm in the South Shore. I got to drive through the city anyway.
Yes, you're right there.
To come up to our boony town. So
because they're still at the same location.
Yeah, we're in Villemar, which is
okay, so
basically
it's not the same place.
No. We're basically Saint Patrick and de l'Église.
Okay, cool.
So it's like north of Verdun, sort of that area.
Okay.
It's one of the old Cadbury factories that were
so it's an actual office thing.
It's a giant
Okay.
It's a giant
building. For some reason, I thought it was still in the old condo that they had converted originally.
No. So now they moved. They moved to this spot. And it's I guess it's one of the old factories that they converted into
Is there better parking?
Loft. Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's parking now.
that was the issue with the other place was.
Yeah. Well, it's all on the street, right?
Yeah. Well, because it's actual condos, right? So people live there, and it always gets full.
Yeah. So there's a big space there, and I just went and
That's cool.
dropped off, and then another technical issue. The first. We have Lexar, part of the workstation hub.
Yeah. I've actually been looking at maybe getting one of those. But
well, they don't have the hub, but we have just the card readers and
like whatever the single deck ones.
Yeah, so I stuck in my two of my cards.
Yeah,
doing two at a time. Both first two cards, wham, right in, and then the second cards would copy like 5 or 6 images and then just stop. For like 10, 15 seconds. And I'm like, really? It's like 1:30 in the morning right now. And you have to do this to me now. Yeah. So, and I was just like looking at it like 5, then stalls. Wait. And I'm like, and I'm not going to, I used it ingest in Photo Mechanic.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to stop it because then it's like, where did it stop? And I didn't want to have to redo everything and risk, getting any files lost in the mix or whatever. So I just...
And that's CF, right, on the D4?
Yep, CFs.
Yes. Yeah. No, because for some reason I wasn't sure. No, because it's only the newer ones that have the XQD and other stuff. It's true.
So because I use... I just ordered a 128 gig because I'm so fed up with changing cards, and I tend to shoot a lot.
Because you had what before? 64s or 32s?
I had a 64 and I have like 5 32s. And so I use 2 bodies, obviously. So I have my 35 on one, my 85 on the other. So I have my 64 gig card in my 35 millimeter lens body, and that's my primary. I shoot probably 80% of the day. With that, and that I have my 64 in and a 32 in the other. But I figured I'll get a 128, put it in my 35 mil body. That'll cover me for the day, and I'll use my 64 in my 85 body, and then I won't really need the 32s. Will just be backup.
What about putting two 32s into a body?
Well, it's not dual CF, so I have and I use the it's CF and XQD. So I use the XQD. I have 2 32 gig XQD cards that I do JPEG.
Okay, see, I knew it. I remember because you mentioned that you had gotten XQDs, and that's why I got confused.
So no, and those are just for JPEG backup, JPEG basic backup, just as like a safeguard, you know. And I trash them once I'm
Wouldn't
triple
it be
get back
better
up.
to do the opposite, to use the XQD as your main because they're quicker?
They're really expensive too, and so I figured I was already set up for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're like $250 a card, I think, for a 128 gig XQD. They're pretty expensive, yeah. So I didn't want to spend like $500 on cards. Yeah. CFs are coming down in price a lot more now that not many people are using them. I'm sure the 5D Mark IV is not even going to have CF.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, look, if you look at the
CFast, I think.
If you look at the D500, it's SD and XQD.
Yeah. And the D5 is, well, it's either dual CF or dual XQD. You have the option.
And I think most people want the XQD, so.
Yeah. And, well, Canon now has CFast, so I think it's going to be nearly proprietary. I don't know who makes CFast. Do we know who makes CFast? We'll have to look into that.
Isn't CFast sort of like
we'll have our
an
producer look into that.
Doesn't CFast sort of look like an SD card?
No, it looks like a compact flash. It looks like a smaller compact flash card. CFast. Yeah. It looks like that.
Okay. So, I guess I just must have thought those were just compact flashes when I was scrolling through.
Yeah. So, just tired of changing cards. So
I know.
I sprung for a 128, and I should be good now, and I'll have my 32s as a backup. And,
because actually it's funny because when I shoot both the bodies that I shoot most stuff with, my D3 is dual CF, so I just put two 16s in it because that's all I have in terms of compact flash.
Oh, really?
And I don't have anything bigger than a 16. But again, also the resolution of a D3 is a little smaller, so and then in the D750 I put two 64s, which is overkill, but
when I was going 750, I had a 256 for a while. And then I went down to a faster 128 and a 64 as a second because the buffer on the 750 is pretty small. So I would fill up the buffer really fast.
Yeah,
and if
you
don't
need fast
have
cards.
If you don't have a fast card, it really bottlenecks in there. So, but so that essentially concludes my Saturday, my wedding.
That's fun.
It was good to get back into it.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a slow start of the year for me at least. But then next month's going to be crazy, and the month after that's going to be crazy.
I guess it's all right to like sort of get back into it after having the kid. Not like not like bam, you have 80 weddings in one day type of thing.
Yeah, I'm slowly easing into it. Whereas last year was the opposite. It was like go in May, June, July, and then it was like a slower kind of dwindle out for the rest of the year. So it's kind of nice like this, and the weather's been good. Like I haven't had any rain so far.
We got lucky on Saturday.
Yeah. I have an engagement session this coming Sunday, so we'll hope for good weather there.
Yeah.
They were doing it at the Westmount Library.
Okay, cool.
And have you ever been to the greenhouse there? Westmount
Heard
Greenhouse?
Of it. Yeah. I saw photos, never been. Said I've heard of it, and I saw photos, but I've never actually been.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the de facto, the default go-to place when it rains.
Yeah.
But now they closed it down because
exactly. Yeah.
A piece of glass fell.
Yeah, that's where I remember seeing the last.
Yeah.
On the news.
Yeah, exactly. So that won't be an option. But apparently they're like surveying it with a drone.
Yeah. They had a company come in with a drone to check out to see if all the other glass was like okay or whatever.
Because it's like crazy curved glass and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think it's for some reason also I guess they couldn't get a cherry picker inside, and a cherry picker I guess also wouldn't be tall enough to extend over. So they used a drone.
And it's a heritage building too, so you don't want a cherry picker falling on top of it.
I also don't think you want a drone fucking crashing through it either. But
yeah, well, I guess if you're careful,
it'll
do less damage than a crane would.
Yeah, true.
But so that is that. That is that. So how was Drifty McDrifterson?
Well, that was probably the most insane week, or has been, and it's actually technically not over yet because I'm still editing the damn photos. By the time this comes out, hopefully I will be done. If not, then there's a problem. But basically my week started off with trying to finalize all of the media accreditations for the event. Even though I wasn't technically in charge, I was still taking care of the Canadian side of it. Besides the fact that I actually, I think on the Thursday, I went over to the. I forget when the last. Oh, it was last Monday, right? That we did the last show. So
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, so good. So Thursday, I actually went over to the Autodrome and set up all the media zones. That's one of the things I usually do at tracks that require it. So I actually had to, get one of the owners of the Autodrome to basically set up the zones with the K rails, the cement blocks, and then for the other little zones, I actually just pulled the walls around with my Forester and a tow rope.
Okay.
And yeah, set them all up, make sure everything was where they needed to be. Then had to finalize the accreditations with the U.S. PR manager.
Okay.
And then obviously there's always little issues, like he sends off emails to everybody, with their acceptance email and information. And for some reason, a bunch of people didn't get responses, so I had to double check with him and then send off stuff. So it was a constant email back and forth between people.
Okay.
It's funny because even though I technically wasn't the one in charge, I almost seemed to be doing more work for this round since I was the guy in the middle.
Okay.
But no, that got done.
So for the media, for the zones, I guess someone gave you a rundown of the layout of the course, or is it kind of always the same now?
For the US or world round when they come, it's always the same layout because, which is actually pretty damn cool. Is that at the Autodrome they set up a grandstand over the racetrack.
Yes, you were.
Yes, so exactly. So the cars come in. So the other layout that they run, they can't run it because obviously it would be because the cars actually come through there, like use that area as part of the track.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyways, basically all the zones will remain the same regardless on the layout. So I know where to put them, and anyways, and then I also had to design a track map with the help of the Formula D Canada graphic designer.
Okay. Okay, you make like kind of a map as like a handout for all the
because FD US are fancy and they actually do their media meetings with a TV screen. So they have like a slideshow of stuff.
Okay.
Unlike my media meetings that I use a clipboard and stuff I printed out at home, because with not the same budgets. No, and it was cool because
it's an
Etch-a-Sketch.
Magna Doodle.
I play charades with them.
Crayons and a Magna Doodle.
Yeah, so that was all done, and and then it was basically the event started on the Thursday, and I mean the Thursday event. I think I went through this on the last show was practice for the U.S. guys and qualification for our Canadian guys.
Yeah.
And then
was it like afternoon thing or?
Yeah, it started afternoon. I still had to get there at 8 a.m. to make sure everything was ready and shoot in the pits, get the lifestyle-y stuff, and going all day. And I left there about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, so from 8 to 10, walking around and shooting. And again, obviously we had our media meeting, and it was cool to be a part of that and be working with the guy from the States and basically because he would basically get the media meeting, and then when it came down to the track stuff, he then handed me the mic, and I would basically explain to everybody what was going, in terms of the hot zones and the places you were allowed to shoot from.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And what I liked the fact is that I didn't have to deal with giving the vests out because that takes a long time. So once my part was done and the media meeting was over, I could grab my gear and go shoot.
Okay.
But yeah, the event went really well. The 2 first days were a little iffy in terms of weather because we ended up having rain on the Thursday.
Okay.
Luckily not during the actual event because like the track stuff started at I think it was like 2 or something, let's say, and it rained right before. So we had like crazy stormy weather and crazy thunder showers. But then when the track stuff was supposed to start, it ended up drying out. So we maybe were like a few minutes late in terms of starting. So we got lucky. And then on the Friday, that's when we sort of got screwed because
Friday, I can't remember.
That's when we had the huge thunderstorm.
I was in the West Island on Friday, so I don't remember Okay, so you had a big storm here.
Yeah. It was no. It seriously was crazy because what happened is that the morning, the morning practice was for the U.S. guys, and then we were supposed to have a practice session for the Canadians, and then their I should say our top 16 event was going to be the Friday night.
Right.
But literally, it's supposed to start at 6. Practice was supposed to start at 6. Probably 5:50, death clouds rolled in. It was beautiful all day, and literally, horrible clouds. And I'm going to show you a photo, and you obviously can't see over the podcast, but that's just how it's going to be.
Imagine.
Actually, you can
I'll try and describe
you can go onto
our
the
listener.
Formula D Canada Facebook page, and there's a photo there in the gallery.
Whoa. Yeah, so that's pretty dark.
Yeah, so that rolled in.
Coming in. That's awesome.
And then within literally not even a minute, it just started coming down.
Okay.
And I was basically getting my stuff ready, and I saw this. And you feel the wind, and you see all the people with their easy up tents, basically flying away.
And most of those easy up tents aren't even made for rain, right?
No,
they're
exactly.
made for shade.
Yeah. So
people do.
Yeah. So it was.
I remember hiding out in one of those with you at one of the old DMCC events where it had a downpour, and
it was just
do you keep your car on the track? No. So
I actually had. I wasn't on the track, luckily, because again we weren't. It hadn't started yet, luckily, and I saw the rain was going to come. We were sort of hoping it was going to pass us because half the sky was blue, half the sky was death.
Okay.
But I was like, screw it. I'll shoot the pre-grid and the burnout area. Get some of those photos, and then that way I'll be close to my car in case it starts to rain.
Yeah.
But we didn't even get to that point. Even before they started, it just started to rain. So I was able to hide out with my car and with one of my buddies, Richard. Shout out to Richard.
Richard,
who is he was the one who actually gave us some pointers and stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. No, it was and it was but because of the storm, it didn't last all that long. But they were calling for another rainstorm in maybe 45 minutes. So they ended up pushing the Formula D Canada side of it to the next morning because basically on the Saturday, which was the main event day, and so basically it would be in the morning of, because technically the U.S. event was only starting later, basically I think 2ish. Because it's going to be a night event, so there was plenty of time in the morning, and which sort of actually ended up working out better because the fans were then getting a double show.
Okay.
They were getting the Canadian top 16 and then the American top 32 event.
Okay.
So yeah. And it was also nice because I got to go home early and start doing all my my tagging of photos and charging batteries a little early and getting to sleep earlier.
Yeah.
And then going to the Saturday, that was the big event.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was probably the best drift event I've ever been to.
Oh, yeah?
It literally was just nuts. Besides the fact that you're seeing all these the top of the top guys drifting at your home track.
Yeah.
The grandstands were full. The weather was perfect, and it was also cool from both aspects of seeing the top of the top drifters, but also working with next to the all the major media. From the Speed Hunter guys to basically just everybody. A lot of the viral drift videos that you'll see, all the videographers were there, and it was cool to chat with them.
Cool.
And yeah, it was, and even actually from a few of those guys, I heard that it was one of the most fun tracks they've ever shot at because we have a lot of media zones. It's fairly open, so you basically no matter where you are, you can see and shoot almost everything, especially if you're filming.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, so they think the track is half decent.
Yeah. Even a lot of the drifters. I heard one.
This is guys that have drifted in probably the most insane tracks in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is the most insane track in the world? Any idea?
Most likely, I don't know. There's a lot of them. There's probably most likely the ones in Japan.
Yeah.
Ibisu circuit, which they have I think 5 or 6 different tracks all in the same area for drifting, and they're all awesome. But it's cool to see that a lot of the drifters like this track. I heard one of the drifters, and I forget who it was, but he had a race suit on, so because he was walking away from me. Okay. I overheard him say that if the walls were a bit smoother, that it would be probably one of the best drift tracks that he's ever driven at. Because the only issue with the Autodrome is that it was never designed.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, the walls were never designed, or the person who made the walls never thought, hey, one day people are going to be wanting to basically wall ride around.
The
exactly. So
So is that a thing? You graze the wall?
Yeah. And well, because it's all about, you remember all the clipping points and this and that.
Yeah.
So you have to get as close as you can.
Yeah.
So, and that's what these pros, that's what they do.
Hitting is actually grazing the wall is considered.
Yeah, because as long as you can basically touch it without affecting your line, then all the power to you. But that's the thing, is that the wall at the Autodrome is not a perfect
Well, no, they're giant blocks,
exactly,
just, staggered on one on top of the other.
Because again, who would have thought back when the track was made that somebody's going to actually want to basically grind the wall around?
Yeah.
So that was the only issue, is that some of the drivers said it's rough, and obviously because it is, but it made for some spectacular bumper explosions and this and that, and it was really cool. Yeah, and it was really cool. And a lot of the drivers loved it. A lot of the drivers, the American guys, and all the other ones who are not from the States either, were just super impressed with our fans on how loud they are, and they're always super pumped and super just motivated for this. And again, which is cool too, with the grandstand setup, where the drivers go underneath them, so they're facing them when they're finding out for who wins the tandem battles, and the cheering was so loud. It was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a freaking really good event, and tons of just awesome opportunities for good shots, and I basically missed them all, because for some reason I didn't actually miss them all, but
boo.
Yeah, no, but it seems like that.
Boo, Glover.
For some reason, when I shoot at this is my home track, but when I shoot there,
you choke.
No, it's all about luck, right? In terms of if you're going to get lucky with something, interesting happening in front, you're in front of them. So there's the two main sections, which are basically either side of the oval. And always I'd be on one side, and something cool would happen on the other. And then, okay, I shot enough in this place, I'd move to the other side. Right. And then something cool would happen on the other side, and it's it seemed like every time I'd move, something awesome would happen on the other side.
Yeah.
Or in a different spot that I literally was 2 minutes ago. It's fuck. But that's just part of the game. A lot of this stuff is being lucky, and because you never know what's going to happen. You try to learn how the drivers are and to predict what's going to go down, but you never know. But it was cool.
Do you think they're going to do the same thing next year?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
because with the amount of people, with the amount of the positive feedback so far, going over social media. It seems like there's hardly any negative feedback. There's a few obviously here and there, but nothing terrible.
Social media, there's always negative feedback.
Yeah, no, but even then, honestly,
yeah.
It's really, 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 really impressive in terms of how everybody really liked the show. So, no, and and it was fun to shoot, and I'm still going through all my photos. I basically shot for 8 different clients this weekend.
Okay.
So I'm just going through the list and trying to get photos off to everybody, because again, I supply different photos to every client, so that way, nobody has recycled stuff.
Yeah.
Because I have I don't know, over 4,000, so I have plenty to give.
Well, over 3 days, yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty to share around. And for this event, I guess for the technical info, I shot with my D3 and my D750, 7200 2.8. My 2870 2.8, since it was a night round, I didn't want to use my 24 120. And then I also had my 300 f4. And for this round, actually, I switched up my pouchy system.
Okay.
Because I usually use a Think Tank belly dancer with I
dropped my pencil.
with a Black Rapid dual strap.
Yeah.
Which works really well. But I don't know why. I just decided for this round I was gonna see if my old setup would still, I don't know. I just changed it up because I figured it was sitting there, and I'd switch it up. So I used a Think Tank, just regular modular setup, and then I used my Spider holsters that I have attached to it, and that I really do love. Because if I'm running around, I can put them in the holsters, and I can lock them, and they don't move. And then if I'm jumping over walls and stuff, and whereas with the Black Rapid strap, it works amazing. But if you're going through crowds and this and that, you can get some swaying action, and which is just it's strap right. So no, it was.
And you don't use any teleconverters, eh?
No.
So full frame, no teleconverters.
No, I had a teleconverter, but I gave it away to a friend. So I do not have one anymore.
So do you? So you don't need the extra reach. You're fine with
honestly.
Well, your 300 f4.
I would take the reach if I had it, but that's the thing is that teleconverter with my 7200 would give me 300 anyways, which I already have, and then the teleconverter that I had actually didn't work on my 300. Besides the fact that it would
pretty
then
finicky, the teleconverter.
Yeah, and then again, it would reduce my aperture even more on the f4, which would be fine in broad daylight, but no. Yeah, I mean, a longer lens would be definitely practical, and at some point, I think I'd like to get maybe a 4 or maybe a 400 or something.
Yeah.
But they ain't cheap, so
no. Or the D500.
Yes, that's honestly after shooting this weekend, I definitely think probably D500 is where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Especially talking to another one of our buddies.
How many were there? Many?
None actually.
Wow.
Well, none that I saw.
Okay.
But actually, and it's funny. A lot of the American shooters were surprised on how many Canadian shooters actually use Nikon, because in the States it's all
Canon.
It's all the white lenses.
Is Canon.
Yeah, but again, Nikon is getting there.
Yeah,
There was one guy actually shooting with two D810s, or actually got D800 and a D810, which
that's a lot of file.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing. Is it's funny because we actually talked about that, and he's like, "Oh, it's actually not that bad as a sports camera." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's not about the shooting. It's about the memory when you get home."
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's it. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, but it was cool to see all the, like I mentioned before, all the top of the top photographers that are that shoot drifting, and then working next to them and seeing what they do, because a few guys brought remotes, and I got to see how they do some of their remote setups with Pocket Wizards, or just the remotes on the camera, on the car.
Right.
Yeah, it was really, really fun, and I just enjoyed the experience. I mean, it was like a lot to take in over the 3 days, because I was trying to shoot everything, and there's the pits, and excuse me, I always feel that you maybe missed something, or could have shot here, or should have shot this more, but
they don't do any kind of show and shine or anything there.
There was
there is,
not a full show and shine, because the problem is last year we had a show and shine and it was awesome, but with how many drivers that we had with the Canadians and the Americans, there wasn't the room, so we had basically a vendor alley, so a bunch of booths.
Okay.
With a few cars here and there, but not a full on show and shine, and that was cool too, though. Yeah, because
the models and everything like that and all that.
Not even there's not that many models anymore that go to these events.
Really?
The tire manufacturers, but again, it's not. They're mainly there, with the drivers, let's say, for autograph sessions and photos like that. There, but it's
Because in the DMCC days there was
but even back in the old car show days, that's what it was all about. And now it's crazy how times have changed.
Yeah. Crazy. Was SCP? It was SCP, right?
Yep. And and even then not hard. There's, I can maybe think of 2 booths that had models.
Really? Man, it's changed.
Yeah, maybe 3 booths. Yeah. It's really has changed. Whereas back in the day, every booth had a model, and
and there's 50 old guys trying to take pictures of them.
Yeah, well, I remember in the old SCP days there was a
collection.
Group. There was literally a group of basically old dirty men that would
old middle-aged
that would
guys.
Literally there was a photography forum that I used to be on. I was owned by one of my buddies, and there was a group of guys that would just go to all these car shows just to shoot models. Yeah, and they'd literally show up with a cart with an umbrella and either a speed light or a softbox, and have a little quote unquote a little studio setup just to shoot the models. Yeah, and it's you're at a goddamn car show,
well,
I'm actually glad those days are over, because it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember seeing.
You'd have
seeing
packs of people, all obviously guys, in front of one booth, just trying to get a shot of this model. Yeah. And then it's I'd feel all weird because I actually have to get the shot for the magazine or whatever that I was shooting for at the time, and it's I'd walk in, take a photo, say thank you, and then leave. Yeah. Whereas these guys would just stay there for an hour and yell at her.
Super awkward for them. Yeah. Were there any drones there?
Yes, we had. Well, actually, we didn't.
We had 20.
No, because the thing is that
it sounded like a giant beehive.
Formula D doesn't allow drones.
Oh no.
Unless we have our own, because we basically FDC we hired a guy. Okay. And then we actually had another drone guy that helped us out during our stuff a little bit here and there. Okay. But then they have a drone that films for their TV show. Okay. But besides that, no drones are allowed.
Really?
Because the thing is, again, you don't necessarily know who's flying them, and there's always a lot of crowd, and you don't want anything to
want
go
a
wrong.
drone
So
flying into the grandstands. And,
exactly. So no, they don't allow it, which I understand because again, it's a lot that you know. A lot of people think they know how to fly it, and if anything does go wrong, most likely they won't know what to do.
Yeah. Go up.
Yeah, well, that's it. So
no, not down. No, not into the grandstands.
Oh my god, there's so much blood. Yeah. So they had no drones, but besides that, because again, this was streamed live online.
Oh really? On the lines?
On the lines.
Wow.
On the internet? That's what Formula D does for all their events. It's all streamed live.
And is it gets the paid thing? Or?
No, free.
You could free?
Yeah. Oh, but the thing is that what's funny and pissed a lot of people off because they're idiots. It's not... Formula D doesn't show the live stream in the state or province that the event is in, because obviously they want you to come to the event, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But it was funny seeing online on social media people all complaining, oh, how come my live stream doesn't work? It's like, well, we posted it that it's not going to be there because you should have come and bought a damn ticket,
Yeah, for sure.
But that's cool because for anybody who's not around in another province, can watch it, and for all the American people, they can watch it live, and it's cool because they had 2 cherry pickers set up super high, and then they had and things like they actually had Formula D had 2 film crews because they had the live guys filming, but then they also had their TV show because they do a TV show I believe on ABC Sports, one of their channels. So they had 2 film crews running around and filming, and it's really neat.
And do the grandstands face both directions, so like both ends of the oval sort of thing? Or
you remember like there's the main grandstand that's like this, and then the ones that are like this, and then they just added one. It's like a big L.
Okay,
it's like a big L.
Okay,
yeah, like big L, like
big L.
Rest in peace.
That's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it was honestly, it's and then I'm still going through photos.
Yeah,
I have 3 clients left to supply photos to.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to get me in maybe next year if I'm not shooting a wedding.
Yeah, we can definitely use an assistant.
Yeah, I'd like to try it out again.
We can do a podcast straight from there.
Maybe between rounds.
Yeah, between something.
Stream it Facebook Live.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually, there's a lot of people doing Facebook Live because again, since
it's crazy.
That's what that was actually.
Live
it's funny because that's what was the advantage is that since for the Formula D, 2 things. Formula D wasn't streaming it in Quebec, but they also weren't filming the FDC stuff at all because obviously it's like
they're like this ain't our
well basically so but what happened is that Scion, which is our title sponsor, was actually doing I believe Facebook Live filming.
Okay.
So that was really cool because again, at least people would had a way of watching it from home, and it would also, since there was the only way to watch it, it would drive everybody to that site. And then also like the Autodrome and from the Canada, we all would they would all do some live sections here and that to entice people, and because it was honestly a crazy show. And then so I just have to finish editing photos, and then obviously not the worst part, but last night had shot 2 events. Shot the lapping at the Autodrome, and then went to the Monday meet. So I have to do that this afternoon after getting all the rest of the.
Is that at the Autodrome too? The meet? Okay.
Yeah, lapping. Yeah,
so
the
they
Autodrome.
Still do the lapping
lappings.
Club there.
Yeah, the Autodrome St. Lapping Club every Monday nights.
Crazy.
So I was there shooting that, and then after that I went to the Monday meet in Laval. I mean, again, since I shot so much this weekend, I still have so much to edit. I didn't shoot all that much. I basically got the coverage that I needed, and then had to get home because I needed to finish uploading.
Yeah.
So, but it was definitely a fun event, and
cool.
And then our next event, if I'm not mistaken, no, it is. Our next event is in Three Rivers. At the Grand Prix
Trois-Rivières.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun because that's always, again, another event that's interesting because I have to deal with their media director and make sure everything runs properly in terms of, our guys signing up. And
that's Formula Drift?
Yeah.
Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
The Americans only come once.
Yeah. So now that is kind of taken over now, the Drift.
Yes. Well, yes and no. I mean, the other series is still around, and they're still doing pretty good actually.
Okay.
But they focus on basically Quebec City area.
Okay.
From Saint Croix, Chaudière.
Okay, so they don't come here at all.
No, they don't come here at all. The closest they come to is Saint Air, and that's it's Saint Air. It's an old track. It's sort of cool, but sort of not cool at the same time.
Okay.
But they had technically 8 rounds this year, but one round got canceled because of the racetrack actually not being ready. They were supposed to go to Saint Félicien, which is Saguenay and far as hell. But yeah, the track wasn't going to be ready in time because they had to make some modifications to actually make it a drift course.
Okay.
And then another round the last round, actually round 4, that I was going to be at, got basically canceled because of the weather. We were supposed to have tons of rain that weekend, so they ended up just canceling. And I don't know if they're going to maybe try to put it back sometime throughout the season, but they had no choice to cancel it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's good, and a lot of guys who do FD Canada do the other series too.
Okay.
But some guys just choose to do one, obviously, because if not, it ends up being a freaking buttload of money that you got to spend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but no, it's honestly pretty impressive the amount of drifting that we have in this province.
Yeah.
If you compare it to Toronto, where they literally don't have that much, and they have only a certain basically maybe 2 tracks that they can actually go to.
Yeah.
And hardly any drift days and this and that. Whereas honestly around here we have between around our area and Quebec City, there's probably a drifting event you can go have fun at almost every weekend.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
we Quebecers like to kill tires.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing Mad Mike.
Yes, angry Michael, as I call him.
Yeah.
He is
because he has an RX-8.
No, you are completely wrong.
Oh, am I?
It's
what is it?
Basically an MX-5, a Miata.
Oh, it's a Miata.
So, yeah, you are horrible.
Okay. It looks well.
You're a Mazda boy now. You should know all this stuff.
Well, it's just mainly because I saw him on an RX-7 group of all things. But I guess because
he drives,
he has a rotary, no?
Yes, well, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not completely crazy. It's a Mazda. It's a Miata Frankenstein sort of thing.
Yeah, well, because he actually drives a bunch of different cars, and I'm probably gonna get them all wrong. But he has I believe 2 RX-7s.
Okay.
The RX-8, I don't know if he still uses it anymore. But
they do have a similar styling in the front. The lights actually look.
Yeah, well, it's
so modified
because he competes in. He's from New Zealand, so he competes. He has a car out there.
Yeah.
Then he also does. He'll do FD Japan, and then he does FD in the States.
Okay.
But yeah, because he has the Mad Bull, the Rad Bull, the Bad Bull, which is all because he's sponsored by
Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all sponsored by Red Bull. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they are all basically 4-rotor rotary motors.
Okay.
Either twin turbo, single turbo, or whatever, but pushing a buttload of power and sounds so crazy. Yeah. And that's the motor you should put in your RX-7 because it's basically sounds like a 2-stroke dirt bike,
Yeah.
But times 1,000.
Rap, as they say.
Yeah, it was so cool. And he was basically one of the main attractions for.
Yeah, well, I kept seeing him everywhere.
Yeah, he was one of the main attractions for the event, obviously, because he sadly wasn't able to make it last year because he had crashed his car literally at the round before.
Okay.
And yeah, he was one of the guys that everybody wanted to see, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch him rip around again. It's such a small car, and there was actually another MX-5 running too, running a slightly less horsepowered motor, but just as loud and impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was knocked out early on, though, from what I read.
Yeah, he got taken out because he actually ended up crashing. He actually crashed the car during practice.
Okay.
And they got it fixed, so he was able to actually make a qualifying run. And then he ended up having another bobble during his top 32 competition.
Yikes!
But the car's badass. And again, that's the problem with that car. From my point of view, is that it's such a short wheelbase that if you hit the wall in a weird angle, there's less give because it sucks the front end, and since it's so small, it just it goes.
It's like a go-kart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like a square. But yeah, it was cool.
Crazy.
And and how's your vehicle news?
Nothing yet. I finally reached the dude that's going to
the Wankel update.
Yeah, Wankel update. He's I reached the guy who's gonna. Well, basically the guy works on a lot. I don't know if he works on any of the Formula Drift Canada guys, but he works on some racers. Because
he does.
He's always busy.
Yeah.
So He might be able to have a look at it this week.
Oh, cool.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, hope to.
Well, let me know. I might. I'll try to go maybe with you.
I wanted to go up.
He basically knows me.
I wanted to go up this morning. He does?
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, but I think I might know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll let you know. I'm gonna get our buddy, our communal buddy, to get it. Go and get it, and bring it directly there. Because I was thinking of bringing it here first, but I'm like, it's gonna take us so much to just get it on the trailer to begin with that I don't want to have to put it back on again. Yeah. So I'd rather bring it straight to the garage.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he'll be able to. When I called him yesterday, he's like, I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, oh, not good. I'm like,
oh yeah,
is everything okay? I'm sorry to hear that. He's like, no, it's just when you're working on a car and it's just not going well, and
you know that feeling.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that'll be something. Well, you know what he said? He's like, and he told me this before when I originally talked to him, was that it's just people that don't take care of them.
Yeah.
And you just have to be constantly kind of babying those rotaries, and then they'll be good to you. But he's like, most people that come in here, I'm fixing all the problems, and I'm fixing all the problems from people who haven't really taken care or maintained them properly. So, so we'll see.
That'd be
hopefully, cool. Sooner than later.
No, I know all the issues of project cars. Like, I mean, my truck's running, but I have always, two little issues that I need to work out now. Whereas where the temperature continues to climb no matter what, so I can drive it. I just have to see, depending on if I have any traffic or the distance.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, when I leave here, I'm going to go pick up a new thermostat, and hopefully that's going to fix it.
Okay.
And if that doesn't fix it, then we'll continue.
Yeah.
And then the other issue I have is that it doesn't like to restart when the engine's hot.
Yeah.
But that actually could be because of the heating issue. So we'll knock on wood, and hopefully that fixes it. Mm-hmm. If not, cross that road when I have to. But besides that, I'm so happy that things actually running, and I'm actually get to, put some mileage on it. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. The I really would like some mesh wheels.
Yes, you should.
I think they look really good on the RX-7.
Some nice BBSs.
Well, I found Wed's Autobahns.
Yes.
Or Enki 92s.
Yes.
There's a bunch of others.
Even this is the wheel. This is the wheel that
it's tough to find that bolt pattern, which I don't even really know because I don't even know if it's been changed. I don't think it has been because it still has the stock wheels on it. So I think it's 4x110s or 4x114.3 or whatever.
I wouldn't know.
But
you can even go to a JDM shop.
Yeah.
And see what they got. I mean, they always have a lot of nice wheels and maybe get you a deal or something. I mean,
they're
most likely screwing you all the time, but they have a lot of wheels in stock, and especially for that size. I mean, you'd probably want to go for slightly bigger.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if you're gonna buy them, you might as well go slightly bigger.
Yeah. There's.
And then what's good too is that you keep with the stock ones for storage.
Yeah.
When you put it away, throw those stock wheels on so you don't get flat spots. And
that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change the tires right away, probably. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'll probably leave them on for now and
for sure.
Figure it out because they're actually hard to find. Those
the originals?
Mesh wheels. Mesh wheels. I couldn't even find any on like Kijiji or anything like that. It's probably some in the States, but I don't have to start shipping wheels.
You can find them. There's a lot everywhere. Like, I mean, you could. It's just, but the problem is the bolt pattern that you need.
Yeah, that's it, and a little bit bigger, So, anywho,
it's gonna be cool though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, which it probably will.
But. Probably will.
So, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess so.
We're at 53 minutes.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, not bad.
I think it's pretty good. So actually, before we wrap up, what's on your agenda for this week?
This week is work.
Just editing. Like Rihanna.
Yeah, work, just like Rihanna. Yeah, no, just editing, and I have, like I said, an engagement session on Sunday. But besides that, it's just editing.
Cool.
Editing away here.
Nice.
Everyone's busy, so.
Yeah, it's true because when other photographers are busy, you end up being busy too.
Yep. Yeah. What about you?
Same stuff.
Same nightly car gigs.
Yeah, exactly. The same usual stuff. And then this weekend, I believe I have a stock car NASCAR event at St. Eustache to shoot. But I need to see what time it starts at. But besides that, I'm going to basically continue editing the FD photos, finish getting that out, and then I can sleep. Then I can get some house maintenance because I need to mow my lawn.
And on that note,
peace.
I guess, yeah.
Yay.
Until, yeah, hashtag yay.
Hashtag yay.
Until next week, sir.
Bonjour.
Have a good one.